I didn't do a commentary last week. Not sure anyone noticed, but I'm back with quintessential vigor, and I have two items to deal with. One of them triumphant, the other of them urgent, both of them rooted in South Africa. First, within the last 48 hours, the Constitutional Court of South Africa, the highest court in the land, has rendered a remarkable judgment incorporating the principle of universal jurisdiction. They found that South Africa has an obligation to investigate crimes against humanity. Crimes against humanity is defined in the International Criminal Court statute, which South Africa has ratified. A duty to investigate crimes against humanity even when they occur outside the border of South Africa, in this case, in the adjacent state of Zimbabwe. The case was brought by the Zimbabwe Exiles Forum and the Southern African Litigation Center, a formidable and tenacious legal center, on behalf of a large number of people who were horrifically tortured by Mugabe's thugs back in 2007. And the court found that in the cases of crimes against humanity, the presence of the perpetrator, or the anticipated presence of the perpetrator on South African soil, is not required before the investigation can be launched. So one hopes that the investigation will now be launched. And AIDS-Free World felt particularly good about the decision because we acted as amicus in that case, a friend of the court. We made a submission in support of the Southern African Litigation Center because we have a parallel case involving a grotesque series of rapes committed by Mugabe's thugs in the election campaigns of 2008. And it is our feeling, given the ruling on crimes against humanity, that if they can start investigating torture, they can begin investigating rape. Bravo for the Constitutional Court. A blow for social justice. And speaking of social justice leads me to the second item, which is the Treatment Action Campaign in South Africa, or TAC as it's known to all its friends. The preeminent NGO, the non-governmental organization fighting against HIV/AIDS, throughout the continent, but of course focused on South Africa. And if it wasn't for TAC's inspired leadership, brilliant advocacy, creative legal interventions, God knows what would have happened to the country of South Africa, but they backed the South African government into the corner and managed to get the rollout of treatment, which is saving millions of lives. Otherwise, we would have had an ongoing catastrophe. But what's the problem? TAC is in financial distress. It doesn't have the money to proceed in 2015 and beyond. So it's launching a campaign in November to corral through crowdfunding, as they call it. I don't know what it means, but it means contribute. Whether you're using social media or listservs or websites or friends, get everyone to contribute to TAC around the world in order to keep them going. What an excellent cause. Why are they in financial distress? Because certain governments, I don't have permission of TAC to name the governments, are cutting back. These same governments who postulate the importance of civil society, and when the crunch comes, they act like scurrilous financial reprobates. If you can, go to TAC's website and make a contribution. Every penny counts. That was last week. I'm Stephen Lewis.